Okay, we're going. It's a Big Ten game though, unless they just change conferences overnight. Illinois 4.5 point dogs at the long-standing dominant program known as Indiana. Totals 52.5 in this one. I mean, Hoosiers. I guess they're a program now all of a sudden, or you tell me more.
NBC prime time, man. We only see these type of matchups with Illinois and Indiana in basketball, usually in
Yeah.
prime time.
Yeah,
But
this
this is
this is definitely a Peacock game special.
yeah,
Get
yeah,
all the whatever gambling hosts that are out there that I've never heard of before that are telling you to parlay the home team and the over as they're trying to figure out their gambling coverage exactly.
yeah. So yeah, Noah Eagle hopefully will be on the call. He's great, but you know, I think this game is really interesting. I think it's going to be a battle market wise. This is one of the games that hasn't moved a ton. It's kind of been sitting in kind of no man's land, and I think I kind of can see why because you can make cases for both sides. And what I'll do is I'll make the case for Illinois. I mean, Indiana, they have Signatories coming in and changed the culture. Obviously, with winning, going to the playoffs. Didn't really show up a ton in the playoffs. I think that had to do a lot with the soft schedule, but he's going back to prove like, hey, this is not a facade. This is something that we can build on. He's got a good quarterback in Fernando Mendoza, but what I'm worried about is how he deals with how aggressive Illinois blitzes and how aggressive they play man-to-man coverage. He is not really a good man-to-man coverage quarterback, or he's definitely not good against the blitz. So when I'm looking at him, I'm thinking that okay, this is going to be one of his tougher opponents, one of his first tougher opponents because he hasn't played anybody up to this point. So they played like an FCS school, they beat like 71-0. They really scoreboard. They struggled, to put away ODU, and then they played another team that they kind of just outmatched.
Kennesaw, yeah.
Illinois,
Yep.
yeah, Kennesaw, yeah. And so Illinois, I mean, they have went on the road to play Duke, which we covered that game. I was completely wrong about. I thought Duke would win that game, but Illinois came in. They turned those turnovers into points. They really hurt Duke in the long run, and I think they'll do somewhat similar here. It's a veteran team, so I'm not worried about the atmosphere. I mean, no disrespect to Indiana, but I mean, it's not going to be a too raucous of an environment. I think similar to what we saw at Duke, just at night. So I think they got a veteran quarterback, they got a veteran offensive line, they got a good coaching staff. I think they're really balanced. They can run the ball and pass. So I'm going to take the more physical team. I'm going to take the team that I believe in quarterback wise, who's been there, done that. He's a veteran. He's not going to get too high. He's not going to get too low. He's already won a road game against a good team. I'm going to take the points for Illinois. Total wise, I would probably go over in this one. I think we may can see some points in this game, but I do like Illinois in the points.
Let me ask you this. So, shocked to see number 9 next to Illinois' football
Yeah,
program. It's been a long time slash
yeah,
time. I think
they're probably not ninth this team.
like Richard Mendenhall time, maybe. I don't even know. I feel like a long, long time ago, and
It's a good call,
that's
Richard Mendoza.
existed. I mean, thank you. I don't know that I got any more, unfortunately. But Indiana at 19, Illinois at 9, just incredible to see that type of thing. Do you take any? Do you have any belief in the I guess inferior ranking favorite? Usually it's a home thing, but does that worry you at all looking at a higher ranked team on the road that's an underdog?
No, not really. I think it's more so. Just go back to your college basketball thing. I think it's more so a thing in college basketball. We see those home teams who are maybe laying like 1.5, 2.5 against a ranked team. I think it's more. It's a more indicative. I think it's more indicative there. In this spot, I can kind of understand why Indiana is favorite. But like, if you look at resume to resume, they haven't done anything to prove that they're this superior. I thought it should be like around 2, 1.5, 2 would be kind of what I put it at because I mean Indiana they've had their struggles finishing drives. Like I said, that ODU was probably the only barometer, like the game that you can kind of say, okay, they played some decent competition at least, and we saw what ODU did to Virginia Tech as well over the weekend. So I'm not looking at it in that aspect. I'm just looking at it as I got a veteran team on the road. They got really good offensive line. They can run and pass. And also Indiana lost their running back, one of their running backs, and they want to rotate those running backs and give them decent carries to keep others fresh. So I'm kind of worried about that. And if you're going to drop back with Mendoza, I think Illinois can turn them over just like they did with Duke. It's a young quarterback who hasn't seen this type of pressure. They're going to play a lot of man to man. They're going to blitz a lot. So I think Mendoza could struggle with that early on, and then by the time he kind of figures it out, might be a little bit too late.
Might be a little too late. I mean, to your point, yes, college basketball, I think that's one of the best scenarios to look for an unranked team, a
Yep,
slight home
absolutely.
favorite,
Yep.
because a lot of time what that's suggesting is that road favorite is just not as strong as their ranking would suggest to anyone that's staring at it. But college football is a little bit different. And like you said, I mean, the 4.5 is a scary number, as you said, no man's land, because it seems like from 3 to 7, you can kind of figure it out on those kind of key numbers. But what's in between, usually that's where the biggest moves happen too, I feel like, because there's not anyone that's really tied to something, and usually there's a push toward one of those key places. So
Yep. Yep.
certainly we'll keep an eye out for that. And I'm just looking forward to because the Indiana Hoosiers fan base that I know, which I've come across plenty from different kind of walks of life, and it seemed like football games were always just a tailgate and then go home and do something else with your Saturday. So I imagine that's changed a little bit based on success because it's
Yep.
amazing what a couple wins or a bunch of wins will do
Absolutely.
for a program.
Absolutely.
But I still think it's like even at night, I think you got to really prove it that people are really in it and in it to win it. And I think that's the real question for me with this matchup. So